Do me one more favor. Just do me a little mic check real fast.
Testing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take off. We over here speaking dreams into existence. Hope y'all having a wealthy day. Hope y'all speaking y'all dreams into existence. I hope y'all executing y'all dreams. If you are watching this live, please leave a comment so that I know you are tuned in, because it's about to go all the way up. Period.
All right. Here we go. This is Joshua Ray Farmer, podcast number 4. To be in the presence of Billionaire PA is to be inspired. His passion is infectious and his message is clear. Never give up on your dreams and speak them into existence. He is compassionate, giving, sincere, and honest. To know him is to believe in his mission. Walter and Bonnie Hill, co-founders of Icon Blue Incorporated. This is a quote from a book that I just received from a very interesting person who I have sitting here with me today. This is actually very exciting to introduce this person in a way that's a little bit unique. He goes by the name of Billionaire PA. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm living a dream in Fresno, California. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. I've been having a good day. I'm really excited about this. I really want to start with this, something that really hits home for me, something I understand and also can relate to, but find very inspiring and very interesting also for other people to be paying attention to this idea that you have a really big attachment for words, for specific words. A few times that we've been talking just briefly today that whenever you say goodbye to somebody, instead of saying goodbye, you say wealthy.
Man, that's my word. You know, whoever created the word wealthy, they should just give it to me. I should have created that word.
Well, I feel like you do that with these quotes.
I do. That's my word. I created that word. I'm just going to tell people wealthy. I created it.
Wealthy.
Whoa, you know the first 2 letters in the word wealthy, you know what it spells?
We.
Yeah, that's my dream. That's why my name is Billionaire, to inspire a billion people. To inspire them to speak their dreams into existence. Not about I. It's about we. That was the purpose of this.
So Billionaire PA. PA stands for Public Assistance?
Production assistant.
Production assistant.
Yeah, I used to be a production assistant. I wrote a quote that says, a job title does not justify your success, so be careful how you treat people. Because I got tired of seeing people get these big job titles and feel like they was just superior, like they was God or something. And I wanted to remind myself of where I came from, and I speak into existence that my ego doesn't keep me broke, you know? And that's why I wrote that quote, because I want to remember where I came from, and I'm going to stay humble when I do become, I'm a billionaire right now. It's all in the mind, man. It's all in the mind.
So it's all in the mind. It's in the name. You're owning it, obviously. So this ownership of this word, also billionaire, you're saying this is kind of something that you take very seriously, that you want to reach out and really infect and affect and really encourage people to have some sort of positive change in their life. It also, something I noticed too is that you like to turn negativity into positivity. Most of your quotes and things start that way, and kind of seems like a very effective way to communicate with people. So I appreciate that. So let's start with sort of something negative in your life that turned positive. So starting from the beginning of, let's say, just start right from the beginning of where this all sort of started happening. You turning into this negative into positive strategy for your life to become who you are today.
Okay. Do you believe in negativity?
I believe in balance.
I know you asked me a question. I asked the question with a question.
That's good. I believe in balance. So I believe. Yeah.
I don't believe in negativity.
No,
I don't know. I don't even think the word should exist. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people say, "What do you mean by that?" If I told you I went to jail over 15 times before I was 21 years old. I was homeless for 36 months. I slept in my truck for 63 days. My mother was told she would never walk again. A lot of people look at my story and they think, that's very negative. But out of all that, bro, I created a book that sells for $963.36, which is positive. So if it takes you to go through a few struggles and you end up being successful, how is that negative? I don't look at it as being negative. I just look at it as life experiences. So I turn everything that people see as being negative into a positive. But to me, it made me a better person. So it was positive. I love negative people. They motivate me. Mm-hmm. They inspire me, and they don't make anything off of it. Like, they give me so much inspiration. Wow. They tell me everything I'm gonna do that I'm not gonna do and stuff. And I just write a book and, you know, put a price on it that I know that I'm worth. And I look at them and see what they got going on, and they don't have nothing going on. So I'm very blessed, man. If you've ever had anything negative happen to you and it turned out positive, how is it negative? Mm-hmm. My mind is just different from other people, man.
So it kind of reminds me of something that I've heard spoken about in physics, which is the sum total energy of the universe. It's kind of a little nerdy to speak about, but the sum total energy of the universe is 0. Mm-hmm. Because matter and antimatter balance themselves out. So maybe it's kind of something, I kind of see it that way, that it's maybe something that you're taking and you're extracting the goodness out of it. And without that happening in the first place, what would there to be extract?
Exactly. No, I totally 100% agree.
So let's start then from what I'm familiar with. I've heard your story before. I've actually been really moved by your story specifically and got turned on to it. I think the first thing that I really saw and recognized right away the value of your story was spoken by somebody I've listened to for years, Les Brown, a motivational speaker. I'm not sure if that's the title he gives himself, but I do know that that's a title that people have given him. I've watched a lot of his videos and consumed a lot of his content. It's been something that's very powerful in my life to help me transform some of the things that maybe were negative into positives. So this guy's very influential. And he spoke your name on a video I was watching, and that was the first thing that brought me to you. So it's kind of a really interesting place to start for me to kind of be introduced to your story, which also started before this book was written. Kind of maybe its birthing was maybe would you say was maybe in a place, and we're talking about the truck at this point. Can you maybe kind of explain that a little bit?
So you want me to explain my truck situation?
Correct.
Man, when I was living in the back of that truck, man, I was so inspired. It was the first time in my life that I got to spend a lot of time with myself. And I was inspired by it because a lot of times people don't really get to know, they don't really spend a lot of time with themselves and get to know their self. Like when I came out that truck, like I convinced myself like I'm a billionaire. I changed my name when I was broke to billionaire. Like, do you know how crazy, man, you got to be to change your name to billionaire when you broke and then make people call you that? But that was my dream. That was my belief. And I was crazy enough to believe the dream that I was speaking into existence. And so when I was sleeping in that truck, I'm going to take you back and I'm going to be specific and I'm going to give you the meat of what you actually want. When I slept in that truck, I thought about all the times that I had went to jail. I thought about all the dope that I had sold. I thought about all the people I had disrespected and not respected my mom. And I just said, it's got to be something bigger to life than me sleeping in this truck every day. And so when I'm sleeping in Oakland, California, San Jose, when I'm sleeping in my truck in San Francisco, Pier 39, wherever my truck stopped, that's where I was sleeping at. I didn't have no gas money or nothing, man. I just woke up every day and, you know what I'm saying, found a way to eat. Came up with a little money to go to a gym and take showers, you know, but it didn't stop me. I was sleeping in the truck and I just started writing quotes. I remember writing a quote one time in my truck because I ain't had no money in my pocket. And I wrote the quote, "It's okay for your pockets to be broke. Just make sure your mind makes sense." I remember one day walking towards the Golden Gate Bridge and the Bay Bridge. I was on the Bay, I think it was the Bay Bridge though. You know, you ever heard of the Bay Bridge? Mm-hmm. So I'm on the Bay Bridge and I'm looking in the ocean. Most people seen water, I seen opportunity. I knew then my mind just wasn't like everybody else. That's when I wrote the quote, "Most people can see, but not everyone has vision." These are the quotes that I was writing in my life. I was rewriting what people call negative, and I was rewriting it into something positive. And so when I take you back to that truck, I'm sleeping there every single day, man, and I'm just thinking, what am I going to do to get myself out this situation? I knew I was going to get out that situation, man. It's nothing that I cannot do. Nothing, bro. I was locked up in jail. I was physically there, but I was not mentally there.
Mm-hmm. And what helped you to not mentally be there?
Because I own my mindset. No no culture, no race, nobody, no human, no cat, dog, man, woman will ever contain my mindset. You will not suppress me. You will not suppress me into not seeing my worth. When people came to me and said, how do you sell a book for $963.36? I said, how do you wake up every day and work for somebody?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with working for people. But it wasn't for me. You know, people ask me all the time. They always see me with my book right here. Everywhere I go, they's like, man, you walk around everywhere with that book. Why you always walk around with your book? I ask them, why you walking around without your dream?
Mm-hmm. So this is your dream, this book?
Yeah, my dream. That's my dream. I wrote that book in my truck.
Wow.
I wrote that book, the whole book, in the back of my truck. I saw this before anybody saw this. I used to explain what the book was going to look like, and nobody could fathom it. I told them my book was going to be so beautiful that even if I didn't put no words in it, you would pick it up more than you would pick up some of the biggest authors in the world, because I was going to make it pretty. I was going to make it cute to read. I was going to make it nice to read. I was going to make it decorative. You know what I'm saying? Now when the people see the cover, they're like, well, I hope the content is just as good as the quality. But didn't we say quality over quantity? Mm-hmm. Didn't we say that? Mm-hmm. So it's like people always going to find something wrong, man. People always going to have something to say. So I don't pay no attention, man. I just wake up every day and write books.
So this book was a dream of yours. So let's talk about that in detail, to like from its birthing in your mind to like its conception. Like what, I mean, it starts coming to you, obviously. Is it just a literal book? You think, I'm going to put this all down in a book? Or is it just one day you kind of started developing ideas, or maybe you start jotting something down or writing something down, or start thinking a certain way that kind of led you to realizing that you had the content that would be in a book that would be useful for people?
Here's the thing, man. When I was in my truck, I basically wrote 2 books. One of them I'm never going to share with the world. I wrote everything negative that I was going through. I was vocal. I used to say things like, I didn't believe in God. My mama would call me and say, pray. I used to tell my mama, if I had a prayer, I would pray that you would die. That's how bad my life was. And I don't care what anybody thinks of me. Like, that's the stuff I used to say. Like, I woke up every day and applied for job after job, and I got rejected. We live in a society where they act like they care about humans, and they just beat people up so bad. People don't even care if, like, people lose their life. I'm out here with 2 felonies, can't get a job. I'm out here applying for jobs. Nobody don't want to hire me. You know how that feels to somebody who got a felony that's going to watch this live video, that's going to listen to this podcast? They're going to listen to this, and they out there sleeping in their truck, and people just walk past them, don't even say hey. This the cold world we live in, man.
And this is the message your name represents, right? What you're saying right now, that you want to be able to do, your mission. Let's touch on that. So Billionaire PA is, again, going into some detail there, is you really want to, affect 1 billion people, and you're doing it through your books. You're doing it through the lessons you've learned along the way. And so some of your message to me sounds also like, it's taken, if we can say the negative to the positive, it's taken a situation that maybe wasn't one that you want to, that you obviously don't want to stay in, but you don't want other people to have to also suffer.
Nah, so are you asking me a question about that?
Yeah. So what do you think about, how is your message applicable to, let's say, somebody else? Actually, let's take it real serious, or real down to the grit part. There's somebody right now sleeping in their truck somewhere, and they maybe feel like they don't have a hope in the world and no looking up, that their world is confined to a very small space. How would they be able to use any of this, or maybe your message, to expand that a little and maybe look outside the horizons and see some more opportunity?
You want something applicable? Mm-hmm. Like something like tangible?
Something they can really use. Like, say you pick one quote or one idea or just something you did that really pulled you into a place where you were able to rise up and start helping other people out of that same scenario.
I'll give you something. Like, when you're struggling, go to the food stamp office and get food stamps. Come up with $30 a month and pay for a gym membership. Go in there and work out at nighttime. You ain't got to really work out. Just make sure you pay your membership. Mm-hmm. Go to restaurants where the caliber of people that you want to be, where they be. Like in LA, go eat at Mastro's. Water free at every restaurant. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff I used to do. I didn't walk in the restaurant and tell everybody I was homeless. I didn't tell them I was struggling. You see, rich people hang with rich people. Wealthy people hang with wealthy people. And broke people hang with broke people. I'll show you your future if you show me your 5 best friends. I knew I was wealthy. I started hanging out at restaurants that I didn't have the money for it, but water was always free. So when you get in conversation with people like that, they start helping you. Mm-hmm. Just like you told me about your podcast. Look where I'm at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not that difficult.
And that's it. I mean, that's like just a testament to what you say, which is also the name of a TED Talk, which is Speak Your Dreams, right? Mm-hmm. So Speak Your Dreams is a talk you gave at TEDx, but it's something you say frequently. That's just obviously people will know you for speaking your dreams into existence. So that's really what you're doing. So that's just true.
You think that's the main quote people gonna remember? Yes.
I hope not. I hope not.
It's all good. I've coined that one.
Yeah, but I hope they look at you and think multiple things. But I'm sure that I think what's unique about you and getting to know you is that it's going to be different for everybody. Somebody's going to get something out of you in their own whatever it is that matters to them. You know, like how many people are going to say one thing about, you know, you use the word wealthy often. And also when you say, you know, instead of the word goodbye, again,
I say wealthy for everything.
Yeah. It's just such a different thing. 'Cause it's kind of a pattern, interrupt where it's like, well, what does that mean? It kind of gets you
when
thinking.
did you notice I do that?
Oh, right away.
Right away. I do that all the time.
As soon as we talked on the phone for the first time, you said wealthy. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Like some people say, what's up or see you or goodbye.
Wealthy.
And it's just
because I'm manifesting it.
Yeah. Right.
I'm manifesting it, man. The mind is so powerful. Like people don't understand how powerful their brains is. They don't understand the power of their words. Most people that are struggling, that are broke, they're in that situation because they spoke that into their existence. You manifest that stuff.
Right.
Like it's not that difficult to manifest what you want in your life. I'm going to manifest $1 billion to me. It's just like when some people, they get on their knees and they pray. You see, when I get done praying, I get up and I execute. I don't say the same prayers twice. I believe in what I prayed about and then I execute.
Wow.
And a lot of people don't understand this right here, bro. Your mind. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you how powerful the mind is. I seen a person go to the doctor one time, and the doctor told the person they had cancer and they was going to die in 6 months. And the person died in 3 months. I don't think cancer killed the person. I think the mind told them that since they was going to die, they accepted that. It ain't no doctor on the face of earth going to tell me I'm going to die. Mm. No, my mind not accepting what he telling me.
Right.
I don't believe that. I'm going to live. I believe I'm going to live till I'm 163 years old. I believe that.
So by then, how many books do you write?
I've written 83 books to this date. I've written a total of 83 books, and I'm not going to stop until I write. Books is just one thing. It's just I'm getting a lot of recognition right now for the books that I'm writing. But this company started off of my clothing line. Selling 5,000 T-shirts on the streets of LA with no distribution. Like, people don't even understand, bro. Like, I'm creating history right in front of people. Like, this podcast right here, this podcast going to be worth $1 billion one day, bro. Not just because I think it's because I'm speaking that.
Right.
I speak into existence. Like, somebody you say this file right here. This is like having Martin Luther King or Malcolm X on your microphone. And I know that, though. I know my worth. See, some people can get it confused with arrogance. I'm a very confident person. Mm-hmm. I don't spend my time with people I don't have a future with.
Right.
I understand my worth and my value. The problem with a lot of people is they don't understand. Like, when a lot of people come up to me and they say, your book for $963 is so expensive. You know what they really told you? They broke. Because I can't imagine a billionaire telling me that.
Right. So you're saying then too, as an individual, you look at well, let me ask you this way. How do you feel about leadership? Would you consider that something important to you?
Leadership? Yeah, that's very important. I think it's so important to me that I think on Instagram they should delete that follow button.
Mm-hmm.
And they should say lead with me.
Instead of follow.
Yeah, it should say lead with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know how powerful the brain is, man? It's so powerful that people actually hit that button and they be saying every day, I follow you. I follow you. I follow this celebrity. I follow this celebrity. They train in the mind to be followers. I don't follow nobody. I follow Jesus, man. I lead with him. I follow God. I don't follow no man. I don't follow no man or woman.
And so you're not encouraging people necessarily to follow you.
No, I don't want nobody to follow me. I want you to lead with me.
Right. And
if you don't want to follow, if serve with me, lead with me. I'm very careful about the words that I use. Because when people follow you, they put you on a pedestal. And then when you make them, they put you on a pedestal and you start, this is what happens a lot. It happens to a lot of people, man. You attain a lot of success and people start looking at you like you a god and they be looking up to you. And what I'm asking you to do is don't look at me like that. Look at me as equivalent to how you see yourself. I had the same opportunity as you, because if you put me on a pedestal and then I make a mistake and I end up being big and then something happens, then you be like, oh, I knew his message wasn't genuine or something like that. People say anything, man. People like pastors, for example, like it's like they can't even do nothing. People forget that them people human too. Mm-hmm. The fact that you put that much trust in a person, you should be sad for yourself.
Right.
You put that much trust that somebody else was going to help your dream come true. People crazy, man. Like, I don't like this, no offense to like this podcast, but I don't depend on the podcast for my dream to manifest.
Right.
I don't depend on nobody else. This right here helps. This right here leads with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by that.
And you think people tend to trust too much and then get let down because they put their trust in the wrong place?
Man, you saw Gary Vee put a quote on his page the other day. It said something like, I don't want to mess up the quote, but it said something like, if you stop expecting from others, you will be more happy. Mm-hmm. It said something like that.
And I believe that that's a personal responsibility that most people skip over, that they don't realize. They don't realize that when you're putting that sort of trust in somebody else, that you shouldn't be entrusting in somebody else. I mean, really you should be trusting yourself that you're going to be getting the, like you're speaking your dreams into existence. You trust yourself fully. You have confidence in that. And you also say that being a leader and a leadership position is important to you. Then, for people to follow you and to believe in your dream as well, whether it's for you or to inspire them to believe in their own, they need a confident leader. And we lack that a lot. And sometimes if somebody is trusting you to make their dreams for your next book to help them, achieve their dreams, they shouldn't be putting that trust in you. Mm-hmm. Your book should be, I would assume, to help them to trust in themselves, build themselves up. So
that's what it's for.
If the next book doesn't come out, I mean, not saying you're not going to put the book out, but let's say they don't get it. Let's say they don't read it. We're not here to, tell somebody what to do, and also we're not here to give somebody to look up to, but to look up to their own, their own dreams with, to kind of inspire people to do what you're doing instead of inspire people to look towards what you're doing. You want them to look towards what they want to be doing.
Absolutely. Step 7 in my new book, it says, your mind been wealthy. People just told you it was broke. All I'm doing is I want people, I want you to call me and say, man, you inspired me so much. My name Trillionaire. My name's Zillionaire. I don't care. My dream is to pull the leadership out of everybody. Everybody was created for a purpose. And it kills me, man, to see people wake up every day and not live their purpose. I'm right now, I'm true. Like I told you earlier, I'm truly living my dream, living my purpose. You know what I'm saying? Not only am I a creative person, but I actually do know how to run a business. I know the number one rule to business is just make more money than you spend. Keep all expenses low. Stop trying to impress people. You know what I'm saying? Write down my top 3 things that's important to me: my health, traveling, and my family. Nowhere in there did I say I had to have no big old house. It's cool, but that's not at the front of my right now. That's not. I'm not into material stuff. I've done that, had fun with that and everything, man. Right now, this world is hurting, bro. There's a lot of people out here struggling. And my dream is I just want to wake up and be an inspiration. I want to help somebody who's living in their truck right now get up out that truck. I want to help somebody who locked up in jail that listening to this podcast. I want them to free their mind and let their mind go to Hawaii, go to Brazil, speak into existence, even if they got a life sentence, bro. You ain't got to spend, I don't care what no judge tell you, man. You ain't got to do life. Let your mind go free. Let it run. Have that type of faith and belief in yourself. And I promise you, man, you'll end up getting out of there. That's the way I think. Nobody can control my mindset. Right now, I could be sitting right here on this podcast, and if I want to go to Jerusalem, you'll be looking at me like I'm crazy because my body physically sitting here. But I'm really sitting in Jerusalem, walking the streets of Jerusalem just like Jesus did. I'm really over there. Like, if that's what I want to do, if I want to go to Brazil, that's what I do. I Google, man. I get on Instagram, and I be like, #Brazil. Then I started looking for people who in Brazil. That's the power of the internet. You can get connected with people before you even go.
So you're saying that your body may be here, but your mind's somewhere else. What kind of impact does that have on your reality, on your physical life? What does that do to you?
My mind has taken me places that my body has always followed. You got to be, like I keep saying the same thing, man. You got to understand the power of your brain. It's powerful. It's really powerful. Your brain's so powerful it could give you a heart attack. Like, people worry themselves to death. Why not worry yourself to life?
So when you mentally are in a place, let's say Brazil, what effect when that has an effect? What is it? It takes you to Brazil. Is that what you're saying?
If that's what I want to do, mm-hmm. Yeah, it do. If I want to go to Brazil, if I want to go anywhere, everything starts with a thought. If I want to go I've never been to Haiti. If I want to go to Haiti, okay, I just thought about it. I'm in Haiti right now. Let me see. Let me go under the hashtags. Let me call a few friends that's been to Haiti.
So you're following it up with actions.
Yeah, how you get to Haiti?
Right.
My friends say you go to Florida and you catch a flight. How much the flight to Haiti? I start asking questions.
So instead of letting it rise up as a thought and then just expecting it to be something that's not going to happen, you follow it up with some physical actions.
Yeah, if that's what I want to do.
Right. And they start out pretty simple, I think, with most do. I mean, anybody can research something. And
just like I said, my dream is to be a billionaire. It's the same thing. It's a destination.
So why do you think maybe some people experience those thoughts and then stop? They don't research it. They don't look further, and they don't do any investigation.
Man, because they don't believe in themselves. They be letting other people get in their ears. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, like, in order to be successful in America, you got to be crazy, man. You got to be crazy. I guarantee you, like, Bill Gates, he crazy.
If you were to describe most successful people's practical or their way of life and the things that they want to achieve, I think the average person would probably look at them and think that's just.
Come on, man. These are people that wake up on a daily and fail.
Mm-hmm.
Fail. You do realize in order to be successful, you fail probably 100,000 more times or 1,000,000 times than you actually succeed. You take way more rejections than you win.
Mm-hmm.
You take way more losses.
You have to look forward to that because if you don't look forward to it,
it's like I wake up in the morning, man. If I tell people the other day I sold 60 books in a day, man. I took about 300 no's, maybe 500. I don't even know. I just be on the phone laughing. It's like that don't even bother me.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I be like, yo, loss.
Yeah.
How you gonna tell me? Listen, how you gonna tell me you don't want a wealthy mindset, but you want to be rich?
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest contradiction ever, man.
Yeah, I think
wealth is above rich to me.
There's and I'm going to get to that, but it keeps reminding me of a quote when you speak that way that Einstein said, and I hope this is exactly correct, that the imagination is a preview of things to come. And of course, Einstein's notably a very intelligent person, but the fact that he says that the imagination is sort of your peering into the future of things that are possible. I I've always kind of held on to that because as a kid growing up, I was always really into art and music, and expressing myself through whether it be painting, drawing, singing, and even being physically active. I always daydreamed about doing those things before I did them. Uh-huh. And so I understood that they, maybe like you're saying, that your mind's somewhere and then your body will follow. There's this power of that envisioning it.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that?
I do. I 100% believe that it's very practical for you for someone to, let's say, daily, I dedicate time to getting clear with what vision I want to purposefully bring to myself. Mm-hmm. So kind of taking the time out of your day to purposefully envision what it is you want, as opposed to just kind of going through your day and letting the world sort of distract you from getting those visions. I believe that those things are incredibly valuable.
Oh, absolutely. So
let's talk about some of the phrases and quotes that you use. You've written so many of them yourself. Is there any that you haven't written that have really impacted you, that you hold on to, let's say like mantras, like daily, that you regularly use if you're in a certain situation that maybe kind of helps you kind of pull out of something or get a certain mindset that you may need?
The one that's helping me right now. If people not calling you crazy, your dreams ain't big enough. I live that quote. I be like, if I leave this interview and you don't think I'm crazy, I must not dream big enough. Like, I'm finna build a house with 63 bedrooms in it. That's crazy to most people. That's very crazy. They don't even think I'm finna put up 63 billboards in Los Angeles. And guess what? I'm not even gonna sell you nothing. I'm just gonna put a quote up there. I'm gonna pay $40,000 a month just to have 63 billboards up.
And so what does this billboards, what would that do for your message of helping people? How does that?
I just want people to ride by a billboard, bro, and just see the sign say, speak your dreams into existence. I'm tired of all the negative stuff. I'm one of the people that actually care about people. I love people. I want you to ride by the sign, bro, and just see it say, speak your dreams into existence. And I want that sign to be the spark plug in your life, not to give up on your dreams. You know how every billboard you look at, it sell you something. Everyone. Every single one. So our billboard, it's an indirect sale. Meaning we're not putting no book up saying, hey, buy my book. We want to put an inspirational quote on the billboard to inspire you. Stop talking and speak your dreams into existence. One of the reasons why I'm building this house in Atlanta, 63 bedrooms. Can you imagine having a house with 63 bedrooms in it? Each one of the rooms going to be a different culture, a different country. I'm going to hire 63 different designers to come to the house. I'm going to hire a designer for Hong Kong, Japan, China, the Philippines. And they're going to design each room like it's that country. So I'm going to have 63. 63 represents the number of days I slept in my truck. And when you come to my house, Josh, in order for you to get in, when you come to the front door, it's going to be the little freckle-faced man. The door going to slide open. When you walk in, guess what he going to say? I appreciate your existence. Then you're going to come over to the receptionist, and guess what you have to do to get in my house? You have to apply for your passport. See, it's a fake passport. We even give you the money for the passport. So it's fake money. It's monopoly money. And then the only way you can stay in my house is if you expedite your passport. So you have to pay a little extra for it. You fill out the paperwork. And then you tell us, Josh, where do you want to stay? Where you want to go, Josh?
So you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I want to go to Switzerland.
Switzerland. So we actually got a room that's Switzerland. So you say you go in there and you stay. We in Atlanta, Josh. You tell me, what would it do for your mind if I put Switzerland in a house and I surrounded it around you? What would it trigger your mind to do?
Well, that's I'm glad I brought it up and I said it because I just had a really good conversation with my grandmother, who's well into her 70s and an absolutely amazing woman. And she wants to go to Switzerland. Mm-hmm. At least that's a dream she told me she'd always had as a little girl. She's never really traveled anywhere. And I called her and asked her if she wanted to go to Switzerland. I would do anything I needed to do to make it happen, even if it meant getting in a wheelchair and pushing her around, whether she wanted to or not. And she just, she's not comfortable with doing that at her age. So it would encourage me sitting in the room to definitely get it done, because I'd probably be FaceTiming with her or Facebook Living with her while she's in her house. I'd be in your house in Switzerland, and it would be motivating her, and that itself would make something, kind of grow inside of me to really want to make it happen so she could experience that.
Mm-hmm. People, when they come to the house, Josh, they're going to be inspired to go to them countries, because we judge countries and we never even been to them. I remember when I had first moved to Los Angeles, my grandmama, my mama, she was like, don't go to Compton. This came from a person that ain't never been to Compton. How crazy is that?
Right.
Why do we take advice from people that have not did what we attempting to do?
Yeah.
Broke people always want to tell you how to get rich.
But that never comes across as crazy in society.
Yeah. That's interesting though, right?
But if you have a big dream, it can come across as crazy. But having these preconceived notions about things that you have zero experience with, that never seems to come across as broke people giving you advice on finance. That's
interesting.
That is crazy.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. But it happens all the time. They give more advice than wealthy people do.
Mm. It's a lot like relationship. People with really bad relationships will tell you what not to do or what to do.
Exactly.
And I don't think they know.
That's exactly my point. Would you rather take we working on a relationship? Would you rather take advice? I saw your friend. She just came in and said she been married for 27 years and she been with her husband for 29 years. Would you rather take advice from someone who been together that long or somebody who had 5 divorces
or more? Yeah, no. I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. But it seems like those are the people that open their mouth more.
Yeah. It should be some people that are listening and say, well, the person with the divorces, they got life experiences. But, man, I'd rather take my advice from a person who's successful.
Yeah, you can't put your hand on something that's already shaky. Yeah. I mean, might as well go with the I'm
going to go with the
rock solid.
That's just me.
There's no time to waste. And if you're going to take that route of looking for advice, you might as well go with the person you can really trust in more, or at least look up to more and get some concrete evidence out of what they're speaking, as opposed to somebody who may have some really good advice based off their failures, but if they haven't had the success and lived it long enough, it's just not worth the gamble of possibly being wrong.
Not at all. What else you got, man? We digging in deep.
Yeah.
How's the interview going for you?
I love it. I have some. I talked to you about this before we started recording. I feel like you have this sort of energy and message that is easy and very decisive and clear. It doesn't, it's very consistent. And again, we talked about leadership and how, you have to have the audacity to be, dreaming big but sticking to it so people can actually believe in you and see that sort of consistency that, that convinces them that this is a real thing to you, that this matters to you. So with that sort of energy that you have, it's infectious to people, no doubt. Anybody that knows you and that follows you, or that now will be following you, anybody listening to this, there's no way they're going to hear this and not be looking you up. There's just no way. If anybody's gotten to this point, 30 minutes in, they're definitely going to be following you. They're going to be paying attention. What is it that you really want to tell these people? If it's, because I think your message is decisive, and you can say it a lot of different ways. But what is really the roots of this message on a whole, like, let's say worldwide? Like, what is the mass message that you're trying to convey?
I want people to take racism off of applications. I am gonna live to see that people stop judging people because of the color of their skin. That's the whole mission. And judging people by the content of their character. I'm so tired of the government pushing race and religion on people, making us fight people that we shouldn't be fighting just so they can make money. You know what I'm saying? We over here paying taxes for what? This ain't, what are y'all fixing?
So you genuinely really want the world, I mean, You hear this a lot, but you want the world absolutely be a better place, significantly.
And that's
going to
be, and because I want the world to be better, guess what that's going to do? That brings a lot of problems on me. This is what Martin Luther King, all of them did, Malcolm X. The people who, and I don't want to be your hero. I just want to see black and white people get along. Mm-hmm. I want to see Asian people get along. I want to see Christians, Muslims. I want to see all people get along. But it's going to be people that find a problem with me just want to see people get along.
Don't you think part of that has to be accepting a certain level of difference within people and cultures, but at the same time, there's got to be some...
Like, watch this, Josh. I accept anything that you believe in. I accept it. I accept you for who you are. But that don't mean I believe in what you believe in.
Right.
And I'm still your friend.
Right.
Josh, I got gay friends. I got straight friends. I got Jewish friends. I got atheist friends. Don't bother me.
Right. So
I don't go home to their beliefs.
So how do we help people with that? What do we do?
I had to open my heart. I can't tell people what to do. I open my heart and I just love all people. Like, I genuinely love you, man. I genuinely love everybody that's watching me on live. I don't even know them. This is just the type of God that I serve. This is the type of human that I am. I haven't always been like that. You got people, man. Everybody not going to see it my way. And I don't expect them to. I'm not asking them to. But think about it like this, Josh. It's 2017. Would you run a business, Josh, and lose $1 million every year and keep going? For 2017 times, you don't think this ain't working. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But guess what we have done for 2017 years, Josh? Fought. It hadn't worked.
And we've
been in a war every year. We've been oppressing people forever. It's never worked.
But there are a lot of things, especially within humanity, that do work really well. It seems like, again, rising out of the ashes of struggle comes the success. Otherwise, where would success come from? And I think humanity, time and time again, and I think you're a good example of this, which is really the thing that turned me on to you, is that, you want to be representative of something that's within you, which is, this light that you want to share with people.
Right? Exactly.
And I think not everybody has that. Not everybody's going to have that. So I feel like a lot of times, if you do have it, if you have self-awareness and it's part of who you are, if you know that it's something that's important to you and that you can do well, then it's not even an obligation or a right. It's an honor to be able to share that with other people. So when you have that sort of spirit like you do, it's really a gift to be able to share with people, because whoever is in that position to be able to share this sort of message you have and convey it with the energy and the spirit that you have, it's an absolute gift for you to be able to experience sharing that with people.
It's fun doing it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm enjoying this life, man. I'm enjoying it, bro. I'm running around, Josh. I'm living my dreams, man. I'm like living my dreams. Like, I'm not working to convince anybody. I'm not asking a bunch of people. I'm not doing this just for people's money. It's like, Josh, if nobody never bought another book product from me, I'm good. I'm going to still make it, bro. I'm going to still inspire people. This don't got nothing to do with money. I'm going to be a billionaire because that's what my flesh wants to do. That ain't got nothing to do with my spiritual belief. That's the flesh. What I was created to do within the person that I serve, which is God, he created me to inspire people, to help them speak their dreams into existence. I feel that in my soul because it makes me happy when I see people live out their dreams. I like being the reason people smile. I challenge you, anybody listening to this, be the reason that someone smiles.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think another thing I noticed right away, and you've met my children, is that I don't think it took more than a few minutes for you to ask what their dreams were. And there's nobody else watching. It's just me, you, and my family around. And, there's no audience. There was no incentive for you to do that other than because it's genuinely who you are. You really want to see people live out their dreams?
I ask everybody. But the craziest thing, Josh, is I actually remember everybody's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I don't know. I just have a memory.
When you'll find sometimes people, I'm sure you've heard this, that somebody's told you, nobody ever asked me that before. Nobody's ever asked. How many times people go by, and
they never ask you what your dream is. Like your daughter's dream is to sing, right?
Right. Yep.
Your son's dream is to be a YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wants to be a
YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make videos. So it's not that hard to listen. I'm an avid listener. Mm-hmm. Like you said, like people see me all the time be like on the 10. I be high when they come. Like, let me get it right. I'm going to say it the wrong way. I don't actually smoke, so I don't be that kind of high. But I be high on life.
Right.
And I'm just high on life right now. I love listening to people's dreams. Mm. Like you asked me earlier, like when you watch my videos, I'm like on a 20. But in person, I'm a lot more calm. And I'm like that because I like to listen and I like to observe and I like to get to know you, because you can tell a lot about a person, not by what comes out of his mouth, but where he puts his next step. I judge people by their steps, by their foots, how they walking. Like, Josh, does your feet line up with what came out your mouth?
Right.
I told you I write books. There go the books. Mm-hmm. You see, I walked it out.
Right.
I'm not just sitting here talking about it, man.
And you also told me that you have 67 total that you want to write?
No, I've written 83 books. They done.
Okay.
The purple book, My Mind is Wealthy, that's a 79 book series.
79, that's right.
That's a 79 book series. And then we got 7 steps to develop a wealthy mindset. That's a 2 book series. So 79 plus 2 is 81. You follow me? Then we have the Face of Dreamers Los Angeles edition. And then we have the Speak Dreams cartoon animation. That's 83. I'm going to go well over 83, Josh. But to be honest, I'm not going to release all the books. I'm going to give this generational wealth to my family. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make sure my 11-year-old niece named Paris, I'm going to make her famous, Josh. But she will never be famous and broke. She will never wake up and have to work for nobody else. I'm setting her up for greatness. I'm teaching her at a young age, she going to run a business. She got a debit card right now for a bank. My mama was like, she's too young to have a bank card. I was like, these kids know how to cuss. These kids know how to play every video game. They know how to order Netflix. But they too young to have a bank account. We want to call them, I told my niece, I'm not going to call you a queen and let you grow up and be a slave.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Queens don't work on people's jobs.
You work a lot with kids.
I love kids.
Yeah. I mean, I would say there's plenty of people out there that they definitely would have zero desire to work with children. I know this, I experience this a lot when I'm, for example, a quick one that I was on vacation with my family, and we were on a road trip walking through the Grand Canyon area, and it was a little tour. There was about 20 people on this tour with one tour guide, and I had my family, I got my 3 little kids with me. And at the end of the tour, this older couple came up to us and said, I had to mention this. And I'm thinking, what happened? Like, I probably used a couple curse words and said something they didn't like. And they said, I just had to commend you on your children, because the whole time on this little tour, hour long, I was so worried that we were going to be stuck here on our vacation we took. And here's these kids. We want to get away from kids, and now there's these kids stuck in this little canyon with us. And we just figured, here we go. We just can't get a vacation. We can't get away. And she goes, they were so polite and they were so kind. And so, people's preconceived notions about kids are obviously, they are very energetic. They're hard to deal with. They a lot of times run circles around the adults. What do you think it is about kids that you find interesting or find, a need to share your message with them?
I'm a big kid. I like having fun. Why not hang around somebody that can match my energy?
Right.
I like them. I love them.
Hang out with like-minded people.
Yeah, I like hanging out with kids more than I like hanging out with adults. They open-minded. They have no worries. They have no fear at all.
Well, I have to add that that's absolutely true. I saw you with my son, especially, and right away. I mean, yeah, I'll attest. I'm glad you said it, because I wouldn't want to say it and you not believe it's true or feel that it was appropriate to say. But you definitely seem like you're in touch with your inner child.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely am. I love kids though. They don't have no worries, man. I like being like they say some of the dumbest stuff. I'm not gonna say it's dumb, but you know, a kid created Facebook. I mean,
Right.
Snapchat, Instagram. A
And
lot
now,
of people will say kids are the future, but then they turn right back around and tell them, "Shut up, sit down, be quiet." I think it's time to start listening to the children, and that's how I came up with the concept, speaking it into existence, and I give them a platform. You ever seen any world changer, any speaker that gives you an opportunity to come up and speak your dream into existence? You ever seen that?
I think I've seen a few people semi do that, and I definitely saw you do it on your TEDx talk.
That's because it's not about me. It was never about me. It's not about my story. It's about your son. If I ever speak at his school, he coming up to speak his dream. If he dance it. If you want to bring your BMX, ride it, have fun. I just want you to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
See, in order to be wealthy, you have to give in order to receive. I give those kids that microphone. They get and everybody. They have everybody's attention. Everybody's listening to what they have to say. That's powerful, Josh. So now when I ask them to do something, hey, I need you to get all A's. Remember that microphone I gave you? Now it's not me talking at them. It's more relatable. He gave me the microphone. He let me dance. He let me sing. He let me perform. That's cool, Josh. I'm making speaking dreams into existence. Cool.
Fun for the
This
kids.
is cool, man.
and it can be cool for adults too. I've read a lot of this in here, and I've definitely got really deep into your quotes and read a lot of those. And I mean, they're easily translatable. They're easy to understand and apply. And they are. I mean, and then some of them are. They got a little bit of humor in there. They go from the negative to the positive with a little bit of a punchline, but they are fun. Most of them are fun. They're not some over serious sort of real deep poetic, hard to like wait, what did he mean kind of thing. They're very practical. They're very decisive. They're very easy to understand. I could see something like this, really being used not just by kids but adults and all of the kind. And maybe applying or maybe appealing to like the inner child. That's something I value highly. I remember when I was a little kid, 7, 8 years old, I would think to myself that I always wanted to remember what it was like to be 7 or 8 years old, so that when I was older, I wouldn't forget, because it seemed to me like all the adults had done forgotten. Like they don't remember being kids. Otherwise, why would they keep telling me to stop running down the hall and being loud and playing and making messes and doing all the things that's super fun? Why would they tell me to stop when they must have done the same thing? Mm-hmm. So I always kind of looked at it that way, that I always wanted to kind of keep in touch with that sort of experience as a young kid, literally telling myself, like, don't forget what this is like, so that when you're an adult, you can, kind of get a little bit of a romantic idea, but it worked. It really did work. So kind of keeping in touch with that sort of spirit. What's one of your favorite things to when you're interacting with kids, or to witness in them? Like what's something that you do that brings you value when you get to impact it, whether it's speaking at a school or hearing a kid say something about your book? What is something that really means something to you?
You remember when we brought what's the other young lady name? Isabel?
Isabel's my daughter, and then her friend Abby was here. Yeah,
Abigail?
Mm-hmm. Abigail.
Remember when we brought her up? Mm-hmm. And I asked her what her dream was? You remember what she said?
I think she said
she didn't know.
Yeah, I think she wanted to play the cello.
Yeah.
And then she kind of brought herself down and said, but I wasn't very good at it.
But you see, the first thing she said was, I don't know. So it's so many kids that say that. But then I keep asking them questions, and then you saw the dream came out of her. She told you what her dream was. The reason why a lot of people don't know is because, like you said, a lot of people don't ask people what their dreams are. So it's a question that's catching people off guard. Like, what is your dream? How many people have you ever had to ask you what your dream is? So it's like people are not prepared for that question. So to answer your question, that stuff brings me joy, man. When people be shy and they stand up and they see people clap for them, and then the whole vibe change. You see it right before your eyes. Did you see the TED Talk? Mm-hmm. That kid was shaking, man. I seen him. He was shaking right there next to me. And when everybody clapped for him, his whole aura changed. It took 10 seconds to change somebody's life, just to let them know they was appreciated. I don't do this for me. I don't care if I ain't never got to do another speech in my life and people still gonna know who we are. I don't do this for attention or anything. I do this because people need to stand up and help people and love people. And we already got enough negative people. So I'm going to run around giving out hugs, love. If I was a billionaire, the day I become a billionaire, I'm just going to be giving out free inspirational stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, you kind of are. I mean, you are, right?
I want to just help more people than I actually am right now. Like, I'm mentoring 8 million kids right now. What does that mean? That means that I do about 4 speeches a week. I'm in every school I can, speaking, regardless of the rate. You know, I don't do free speeches, but I work with you. I don't do anything for free. I don't think people value free. I don't do, and not all forms of payment have to be in the form of cash. So you don't have to pay me cash, but something will be received.
It's not the
because
only currency.
we're in business,
right?
You know. People always, I wrote this quote, Josh, and my friends was like, is it all about money? In business, it is. That's what a business is. Like, some people just say some of the craziest stuff. Like, what business you know when in business not to be about money?
Yeah.
And so I wrote this quote where I say, I look at all my friends and everybody like, how many followers you got? How many comments they get? How many likes they get? That's why I wrote the quote, if you got less money in the bank than you got followers on Instagram, then you need to get you a new group of friends. How you gonna tell me it ain't all about money like it's all about Instagram followers? So is it all about your likes? Is it all about your comments? I see you got your likes together, you got your comments together. Why not have your money together?
So it's a value thing, because it's not always cash, but it's some sort of value that we bring to the environment, to each other, and that can be the exchange. It
Absolutely.
doesn't have to be
money.
Monetary.
You can introduce me to Oprah.
Yeah. Which is a big deal to you.
Yeah.
Oprah is a big deal to
That's
you.
a big deal. That's
Yeah.
a big deal.
I see a big smile on your face. So yeah,
that's the biggest. I think I don't know, man. That's my last dream.
So Oprah seems, I mean, I would just, kind of growing up watching her, she just seems like the kind of person who's almost in a way, like, let's say the last couple of decades, that she's been the person. If you're thinking of a talk show, if you're thinking of somebody inspirational or motivational, but even better, just somebody that's really down to earth and real and brings sort of that out of other people that maybe seem bigger than life. Mm-hmm. She kind of has that ability.
Why you think I want to meet Oprah?
Yeah. I would say my first thought would be, has to do something with her childhood growing up, because she was around. There's something, I mean, she's familiar to all of us, right? She's part of our ecosystem in life. Like, she's worldwide stuff. She's a game changer, but she had influence on us, even if you didn't watch her. Oprah has some sort of connotation to us.
Have you noticed I say that in every video?
Yes, I did.
Video to Oprah?
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't never tell people this. I think I might have shared it a couple times. The reason why I say send a video to Oprah, when I was 17 or 18 years old, when I went to jail in Texas, Anahuac, Texas. I caught a drug charge. I was facing 5 years. I got 5 years probation for that. My grandmama, I got out of jail and I went to Alexander City, Alabama, and I went to jail again for a conspiracy charge. When I got out of jail, I went home to my mama. I went to jail so much. It was just ridiculous. When I went home to my mama said, your grandmama want to talk to you. My grandmama was spiritual, Josh. She always talked about that God stuff. I was atheist. I just didn't have no faith in God. I guess I don't know if atheist is the right word, but I didn't believe. Mm-hmm. I was lacking faith bad. So I finally dropped down and go over there and listen to her. Just listen to her talk. This is God stuff. If God exists, Grandma, why are you in the house with no lights? If God exists, Grandma, why do bad things happen to good people, Josh? That was my thought process. My grandmama got in the house and you know what she asked me, Josh? She said, baby, if you had a dream and you could be like anybody in the world, who would you be like? And I said, Grandmama, here we go with all that inspirational stuff. That stuff only work in this house. 90% of my life is lived in the streets. That stuff don't work. I ain't got no dream. The white man ain't giving us no job out here. This my reality. I got to pick between stealing and selling dope. I'm from Alexander City, Alabama. Look them up. The population is what, 8 to 10,000 people? It's nothing to do there. I got to make a decision as a black male to decide on stealing or selling dope. What I'm going to get a job for and pay $7 an hour? This the American dream? So I told my grandma I ain't had no dream. So she asked me again, and she was just like, if just think about it. Now think about what I did to your daughter's friend. She started the same way I started. I said, I ain't had no dream. And my grandmama said, but if you could have just one dream, who would you want to be like? And I said exact words, Josh. If I had a dream, I'd be like that little old black lady that you always watch on TV. And my grandmama started laughing, and she was like, baby, you talking about Oprah? I said, Grandma, I don't know the lady name. I just see her on TV because that's who you always watching. I didn't know who she was. And my grandmama said, why you say Oprah? Why you pick Oprah of all people? And I said, Grandmama, probably because that's the only black person I ever seen on TV that looked like us and her hands ain't like this behind her back. That's the only lady I ever seen that was black on TV and wasn't going to jail.
And so that obviously that mattered to you. That was a big deal.
My grandmama told me then, Josh, I think I was 17 or 18. She said, one day Oprah gonna call my baby. My exact words, Josh, was, yeah, for selling dope, Grandmama. I never saw myself doing nothing positive, Josh.
So you think you were wrong and she was right?
Yeah, she spoke it into existence. Mm-hmm. That's why I got so much faith. That's why I go so hard. Like she spoke something into, like, that's like you believing in your kids and then they grow up and realize that somebody believed in them when they didn't even believe in themselves. And it came true. Now just imagine if you end up believing in yourself.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's
so when I not to cut you short, but when I say send it to Oprah, Josh, I really ain't saying actually send the video to Oprah. I'm really just honoring my grandmama.
Yeah.
That's my way of saying, some people say R.I.P. I'm just saying send the video to Oprah. That's my R.I.P. to my grandma.
Right.
But just so happened, yeah, it's going to get to Oprah, man. I ain't worried about it. But I ain't going to sit here and lie. Like, if it never does, it's like, I'm still grateful.
Right.
You know, I ain't going to cry over the situation. It's, you know, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But I know it's going to happen. That's the power of manifestation. Oprah going to buy a book from me, Josh. She going to buy a book for $963.36. This is the power of manifestation, Josh. I don't know if she going to... I never talked to Oprah's team or anything. I talked to one particular friend of mine on Instagram, and that's about the only... You know, I had a couple more. I'm not going to lie. I had a couple friends that I have put books in their hand, and they've been real supportive. So I want to thank Devon Franklin. He wrote the foreword in my book. You know, he's very close to Oprah, I know. But I just thank him for, you know, being a mentor to me and just being able to watch his videos, and he inspired me. He wrote the foreword in my purple book. He didn't have to do that. But I spoke that into existence, Josh. I claimed it. I was persistent. I emailed that brother like every week, Josh. You know Devon Franklin?
No.
Yeah, he's another powerful leader, man. Good person to not follow but lead with.
I'll definitely look him up after this.
But yeah, and then I had another friend. She got Oprah the book. You know, I think she did. You know, I gave it to a few people who said they could get it to her. So I'm just speaking it into existence. I don't know if Oprah has ever received the actual book in her hand, but.
So do you think it's really important to know how you're going to get something done, or just decide what you want to get done and just see it like it's already happened?
Well, if you make up in your mind that you're going to do something, you'll figure out the how. I don't know how we're going to get to it. I keep referring to I don't know how I'm going to get to Oprah. I just put it in the universe, man. I just take steps, bro. I just wake up and work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be a billionaire, Josh. You don't think we're going to end up in the same room?
So you got to take the next step that's just in front.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the next move for
it's
you
manifestation.
To take?
I'm confident. I'll be pumped up for this dream, man. I'll be really excited. Like the Oprah thing is just one of many dreams, Josh. Like I got the 63-bedroom house. I got the cartoon animation where we turning all intangible things into tangible cartoon characters so that people can see the influences that they have on you in your life. That was so loaded, you might not even understood what I said. I'm going to take failure, Josh, and I'm going to turn it into a cartoon character so that your child knows what failure looks like. I'm going to take broke and turn it into a cartoon character. Broke is 12 years old. Then we're going to have positive cartoon characters called Hope, Faith, and Joy. 3 sisters. And they got a brother named Big Dreams. And Big Dreams has a lot of big dreams, Josh, but he don't execute anything. All he do is talk. And he just talk about his dream. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but he don't do nothing. You want me to tell you why? Because he's best friends with 2 twins named Trials and Tribulation. He keep running into them. It's going to be the dopest cartoon ever existed in the world.
That sounds great already. This is in action?
Yeah. Stuff that I just sit in my house and I just think of stuff and just wake up, Josh, and I create. And there's another character, his name Wealthy. See, that's me, Josh. You know, Wealthy, he battles with helping people and money. You know what I'm saying? That's me all day. Some days I wake up, I want to make a lot of money and not help as many people. And some days I wake up, I want to help a lot of people and not make no money. But my mama, who is Faith, she always remind me, Faith keep you grounded. Faith, the person that reminds you what your purpose is. My purpose wasn't here to make no money, man. My purpose was to help people. And that's what I'm going to do. This going to be the dopest cartoon y'all ever seen. Then we got another character. His name's Spirit. He in a wheelchair, Josh. Spirit is a dancer. Just like how your daughter went to the dance tonight. Spirit is a dancer. Now, the only time Spirit, you know the buttons that I wear? We press them 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you tap into your dream. Only the positive people have the gift. The negative people are working to steal the gifts of the positive people. So you press it 1, 2, 3, 4, and Spirit taps into his dream. He can only dance and walk when he's tapped in. When he taps out, he hits it 1, 2, 3, 4. His clothes change. He goes back into his regular clothes and he falls back down in his wheelchair.
Wow.
He cannot walk. He cannot dance. He taps in 1, 2, 3, 4. He comes up out the wheelchair and his clothes change. And he has on the God's on my team shirt, but he lacks faith.
Wow. That's deep.
When he comes out the wheelchair, he's dancing, right? Now, Faith is the singer. They at the Staples Center. We dreaming, Josh. We not really here. We dreaming. Imagine being at the Staples Center. 44,444 people are there. That number is specific for a reason. Spirit taps in 1, 2, 3, 4. He jumps up out the seat. He dancing. He getting it. Everybody's like, oh my God, like a crippled man, a man who's paralyzed is dancing. He's only 13. In the middle of everybody going crazy, and Faith says, stop the music. Everybody's quiet and she turns to Spirit. And she asked Spirit, you know what she asked him? If the only time you can walk and dance is when you tapped into your dream, why do you ever tap out?
Yeah, that's real.
A lot of people never tap into their dream, Josh. It's the whole purpose of the cartoon.
And if they do, why do they tap out? I mean,
we watching the whole cartoon and one of the kids say, why y'all tapping out?
Do you think people find that to be, or maybe they're conditioned just to think that that's not where you're, like you just can't maintain that, or you're not supposed to dream that big for that long, that often. You've got to come to, you hear this a lot, come back to reality, or like off vacation, back to reality. Mm-hmm. Or, we're doing our thing here on the weekend with the family and having a barbecue and hanging out with our loved ones and enjoying our time. But tomorrow's Monday and back to reality. So we're like conditioning ourselves to jump right back out. Mm-hmm. Even if we did tap in for a day or an evening or a weekend, it's almost like it's just expected. Our culture just expects to tap right. I like that a lot. I like the idea of that. What'd you say his name was?
Who, Spirit?
Yeah, Spirit.
Oh, Josh, that's just one character.
I dig
Josh.
Spirit. I dig Spirit.
I don't even have a time to really go into these characters. That's just Spirit.
But you will. You're going to make this happen. So
it's just like you have to follow this journey, right? Faith has cancer. She's only 12, Josh. But she got more faith than everybody. She got cancer and Crohn's disease. You know what I did, Josh? I took real situations in my life. My friend, she really do got cancer and Crohn's. Her name Wendy Vaughn. She's Faith in the cartoon. She's the little kid. I took these. I really do have a friend, Josh, who can only dance and walk when he only can walk when he's dancing. That's when he feels like he's living his dream. When my friend Wendy goes in the booth, this is a real story that was turned into a cartoon. And she sings, Josh, she tells me that's the only time she feels like she don't got cancer. Or that's the only time she feel like she don't have Crohn's disease. So I tell her, what I would say to her is keep singing then. Don't never stop singing. Just keep singing.
So do you think it's because it's a piece of advice you're giving her, or because you're believing in her that's going to matter?
I think she believed in herself, though. You see, faith is the one that inspired me, bro, to inspire you. Faith is the person that told me to finish my books. Faith is the person that said turn your negative lifestyle into a positive. Faith is the real inspiration behind Wealthy Minds. This 12-year-old kid who in real life is 35.
And so you're taking that, you're putting it into the story. I'm definitely seeing it as a whole, and people listening maybe too, that there's this scenario of how they're all going to come together, or how they're all symbiotic with each other and affect each other. What's the outcome? Like what's the end result with these characters? And I'm not sure if this is going to be part of the plot of the story, or if they're how that all works out.
Yeah.
But
You know, I ain't gonna give you everything, but
No.
I get. Hey, you know, they travel the world at like, I think the oldest one is like 14. They travel the world. They call it the Speak Dreams team. These are the 9 intangible cartoon characters that your son needs, Josh, in order to be successful. Hope, faith, joy, big dreams, wealthy, wisdom, spirit, courage, and lovely. These are my 9 characters. And these 9 characters come together, and guess what? They fly to L.A. So I don't know how they got there. They don't got no driver's license, no money or nothing. But they got hope, faith, and joy. They got spirit. They got wealthy. It's a mindset. And they run into trials and tribulation. That's one book. They go to the bank. Guess who they run into? Debt. They run into the cartoon character, debt. Because I think that your child at 12 need to know about debt. They run to the health department. Guess who they run into? HIV. They run into STD. This goes so deep, Josh. It's just stuff I just sit in my office and I think about, Josh.
And it's good, and you touched on that earlier, that, I mean, kids are so incredibly smart. Mm-hmm. They're pretty much, I mean, it seems like they're born geniuses a lot of times, because sometimes it seems like they know things maybe they shouldn't know, especially when you're a parent and you're trying to maybe not let them be so raw with some of the information they know in public.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I mean, man, that's, it's interesting to see it play out that way in a story, because as kids, I feel like we kind of, I think we kind of undermine their mental capabilities, and we don't necessarily, I'm not going to pick on the school system or parenting or any sort of societal specific scenario for being, responsible for this. But I think as individuals, we have an ability to really impact children in such a different way that I almost think we're not convinced. Give me your first thoughts on the importance of either doing one or the other, believing in a child and letting them know, or giving them tactics and advice and setting them off into the world. Which one do you choose? Either tactics, advice, and quotes and words, or just skip all those and solely just letting them know you just believe in them?
I think you should show kids with appreciation with actions, because these kids are very smart, and I think you need to be there in their life. And I'm speaking into existence that I'm gonna be a better person, and help as many more kids as I possibly can. But I ain't gonna sit here and act like I ain't been perfect. Shoot, I got a son, and I haven't been in his life as much as I would like to. That's what triggered me to help children. So I just treat the kids like they mine. And if my son was in my life, this is what I would do for him. This is how I would treat him. So that's what I do. So when I see your son, I just think about how I want somebody to treat my son. So that's why I wake up. That's how I came up with Sponsor a Kid's Dream. What I'm telling you now, people don't even know I have a child.
Wow.
I never mentioned it. You know what I'm saying? But that's a dream that I'm speaking into existence. I don't let it hold me back, man.
Right.
Like I said, I haven't been you know what I'm saying, the best father, but that's why I say I have weaknesses too.
Right.
But the way I side with it is helping other people's kids. I love it. I love some people's kids more than they love it. Like, people love me so much because they can bring their kids to me when they want to go out, and I keep them. I keep them for a week. I take them to school, everything. 13 kids used to live with me, Josh. Not one of them was related to me. I took them to school and lost my job. That's how I created Wealthy Minds.
So, going back to the idea of believing in them, because I definitely know what it feels like. I had plenty of people. I definitely didn't grow up with, by any means, in a fancy environment, or you would definitely not call it well off, or I would definitely call it something more like humble means. But that being said, I can definitely pinpoint some people in my life that always made me feel like I was super important to them. They believed in me, whether it be the things that I, mostly to be honest, it was just really my art. Anybody that knows me knows that as an artist, it's a passion of mine. And I think that really actually transformed into my life or came into my life through the people that believed in me. Because if they hadn't believed in me, chances are I wouldn't have recognized this potential in me and pursued it. It probably would have disappeared and been completely undetected. Uh-huh. So I think sharing that, two questions that I value greatly whenever I'm with somebody for any extended period of time. I work as a photographer, videographer, but my career for the last 10 years has been a tattoo artist. So you can imagine I'm sitting down for hours and hours with people and getting to know them. Asking somebody, and this is, definitely relating to some of the conversations we just had, asking somebody what their dreams are. What is it? What are you trying to do? That's a simple goal. Like, what are you about? Where are you going? You can say it all kinds of different ways, and there's just no answer. And I don't blame them for it. If anything, it's just maybe because it's really just not part of our regular dialogue daily. I find huge value in that. The other part is, basically just believing in somebody's potential. Recognizing something in somebody, even if it's competitive, even if you see something in somebody where you're thinking, man, like, I like to think that we all, it's just not just me, but we all see something in somebody that's like ours or that's like us and something we want to be doing, and we kind of feel a little threatened, but instead maybe take the moment to realize, like, encourage that, and facilitate that sort of thing. If somebody's doing something you want to be doing and they're doing it better, or maybe not as good. Mm-hmm. Believing in people, lifting them up, it's kind of going back to your basic message here, like the word wealthy. I know that doesn't mean just monetary and cash to you, being wealthy and spreading the wealth. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it comes down to, and believing in people and letting them, inspiring them and cultivating relationships with them that allow them to start kind of just thinking that way. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't even cost much of your time. What does it take to genuinely just be, interested in somebody's dreams? What it is that, interests them. What is their skills, their talents? What's something they enjoy? And just taking the time to be sometimes just interested and ask about it. Actually be genuinely, asking questions about that sort of thing. I think that just goes super far. That's something I believe. And again, I get lucky to, it's not always lucky. Sometimes it's a little daunting depending on people's characteristics. We all know some people can be draining, but most people I talk to for hours at a time, it's really interesting to see them transform once you start asking them about those things. Or if they don't know how to answer it, and I've seen you do this, you don't stop at, I don't know. You keep digging. You keep looking a little bit further, and then you start finding some things. Because I also believe, this kind of leads me to another thought that I had earlier this week, and I actually did a Snapchat about it because it was super important to me, is I believe you deliberately have to make time, if you don't already know what your purpose or your dream is. You have to deliberately make time to discover it or to develop it and build it just like it's from scratch. Mm-hmm. If you don't have one, then make one.
You're right about that, man. I hope your cameras don't kill me. Your audience don't kill me because I got this pimple the size of my actual dream, and it's annoying. So I wanted to bring attention to this big pimple.
No, it's all good. I'll just keep the camera on me the whole
good,
time.
Man. You know, we have acknowledged it now.
Nope, the camera will be on me. I'll just keep it on me.
I don't care, man.
B-roll right here the whole time.
They looking at me do it. So
let me ask you, if people want to find more, about you, whether it be not just instead of following you on Instagram, but leading with you, if they want to find you there, that'll be easy. I think anybody can just look you up as Billionaire PA, and they're going to find you pretty quickly. Wealthy Minds, and your company. What is your website name?
BillionairePA.com.
BillionairePA.com.
Yeah. And I also got Wealthy Minds online. BillionairePA.com is for my speaking. Okay. You can go there and book me to speak. And before you reach out to me to speak, just make sure you have the details. Because my team, they're very professional. Mm-hmm. Like, let me see, how do I say it? I'm not going to go too deep into it. Just make sure you have your money right. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be free.
Right.
I don't know what some people think when they call me and just be like, hey, come do a speech. I had one person call me, man, in another state. I'm not going to say the state or that because she would know. But they called me and asked me, oh, my God, I want you to come out here and speak. And wanted me to literally fly myself out there. I'm like, fly myself out there, do the speech for free. So you want me to spend my money to come to your speech? Like, I feel like I'm the most down-to-earth public figure, one of them, because there's a lot of them. But I feel like I'm like, y'all get to buy my books and talk to me. Like.
And you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Expectations. Well,
you know what I'm saying? It's like, but if you think about it, like, how many authors have you ever bought their book that were known? And you bought their book and you talked to them. Like, they actually called you.
Mm-hmm. And showed up to your podcast.
That's all I'm saying. It's like there's not that many people. Like, how many famous people do you know that you could just reach out to and they actually respond? Like, you can call me. That's my real cell phone number that you have.
Yeah.
Like, I know how to answer. I know how to tell you no. I know how to manage myself.
So you definitely, you got to, and you said it, you put that high price or at least a certain value.
Exactly.
On something. Otherwise, it is easy for people to disrespect it. I know that 100%, being in business for myself, it's like 100% true. So other than that, them finding you doing, you obviously have a ton of stuff. It's not hard to look you up and go that route.
Yeah, add me on Instagram. My dream is to have 63 billion followers.
63, you hear that?
63 billion. 63 days in my truck, and my name is Billionaire. So my dream is to have 63 billion followers. Now, y'all know I don't really care about them followers like that, man. I just care about, my health, going to the bank. I'd rather have $63 billion in the bank, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm manifesting this dream right now, right here in your face, man. Thank all of y'all beautiful people for supporting this dream.
And it's going to be a lot of work.
Absolutely. It's a lot of work now.
And you're willing to do it.
Yeah,
no problem.
It's not that hard, man. It's not that difficult.
It's just consistent.
It's not that difficult. It's fun too.
Yeah.
I'm going to get 1 million people. Hey, watch this right here. Everybody that's listening, go on wealthymindsonline.com and download the ebook. It will help you to develop a wealthy mind. I speak into existence, Josh, that 1 billion people will download the ebook. Everybody, go to wealthymindsonline.com right now and download that. Like, Josh, I'm speaking my dream into existence. That's how simple this is. I've already done the work. I've already wrote the book. I speak into existence that if you are watching this live video or you are listening to this podcast, you don't hear the conviction, the passion that I have for my dream. I really believe that everybody listening going to go to wealthymindsonline.com. It's funny to me, man. When I did the TED Talk, man, one of the people, I had people commenting and said, wow, this guy used their platform to promote what he was doing. And I have to sit and think about like some people, I don't know if they actually think. Like, what, you thought I worked hard not to get on the platform and not share what I do?
Yeah.
That's very like. What did you think I was going? What else was I going to talk about? I don't listen. This the truth. Like I don't read other people's books. I don't be listening to other people's stuff. I go to seminars and stuff, but I just every book that I've ever written, Josh, is from my life experience. I don't get caught up in the hype. I don't pay any of that stuff no attention, man. I just focus on my dream. My dream is really to be it's like you said earlier, I'm very consistent. I tell you every time when you ask, what's my dream? Be a billionaire and help a billion people. Then you might ask another question, well, how does that break down? What are you going to do that, to execute that? I'm on a mission, man, and I ain't listening. I don't focus, nor do I care what anybody think, man. You're going to look up one day, Josh, and you're going to say, I had that man on my podcast. And I pray, I speak into existence that this podcast blow up just as big as I do.
So what do you want to leave with people listening to this right now, whether they have any doubts or whether they're kind of questioning what's been said or they just fully believe in it at all? You have a minute right now to just or as long as you want. You have this time right now to just talk to human beings on the other side of this and tell them anything you need to tell them, and let's pretend it's the world stage. Everybody's listening. What do you say to somebody right now if you just had that opportunity and you could say anything you wanted? It doesn't matter what the subject is. You just have complete free reign just to share with whatever you wanted to share.
Anything, like just say anything.
I mean, literally, like you could talk about if you love food. Or
man, I would tell people to never spend their present time with people that they don't have a future with. I would tell people that it's okay for your pockets to be broke. Just make sure your mind makes sense. I would take people back to that truck when I was living in my truck and I had no money in my pocket and I had no friends and no money, no food. And I wrote the quote, it's okay for your pockets to be broke. Just make sure your mind makes sense. I would take you back to the truck when I wrote the quote, I'd rather lose you to the truth than to keep you with a lie. I take people back to the truck when I say tie yourself to greatness before failure chokes you. It's too many people out here that hang around people that choke their dreams. I would encourage people to hang around people that breathe life in their dream. Take their dreams off life support and live out their dreams. I would take them back to the truck when I wrote the quote, my mama had screws in a leg like Superman had in his head. Doctor said she'll never walk again. I told the woman, close your eyes, use your mind. I taught my mama how to glide. I take people back to the truck when I say, if people not calling you crazy, your dreams ain't big enough. I just tested positive with MTD, motivated, transmitted disease. If you touch me, look at me, email me, or hate on me, I will infect you with motivation. These are all the quotes I wrote when I was in the back of my truck. Like I could spit these quotes all day, every day. I could go on and on to the point money ain't everything, but being broke ain't much either. If you never fly, you'll never try. Even if I was blind, I could have told you my future was bright. Even in a time when me and my mama stayed in fights and we had no lights, from the bottom to the top. In other words, from Alabama all the way to this podcast, and I ain't even had the money for that flight. I just make this stuff up off the top of my head, man. This stuff is simple to me. It's easy. I write a quote for your podcast. I write a quote for any situation. You tell me the struggles, anything, because it comes from my heart. I exude this stuff that I wrote in this book. Log out of social media and log into your dreams. Tie yourself to greatness before failure chokes you. This is, you give me do I need another minute?
You got as long as you want.
Man, this is what we do over here at Wealthy Minds, man. Don't be a slave to your circumstances. A job title does not justify your success. So be careful how you treat people. Even if I was blind, I could have told you my future was bright. It's just as expensive to be broke. Might as well get wealthy. These the quotes I live, man. One of my biggest ones I really love is money is a promissory note that acquires debt. Knowledge is a promissory note that acquires power. I'm very educated. I unsuppressed the mind that people attempted to suppress to have a broke mindset, deactivated my brain from negativity, deactivated my broke mindset, and reactivated it to what I call the wealthy mindset.
I hope we can definitely get out to as many people as possible with that message, with your energy, with your book, with your content, any of your speeches, whether it be a TED Talk or something you produce on your Instagram. you sitting here and speaking with me on my podcast, how much of all of this would you say has to do with just being simply grateful or thankful?
How much of it has to be?
So let's say, how much of this has to be kind of derived from just being sincerely thankful for anything you've been given or any opportunity you have or anything that's came your way, good or bad?
Nobody never. God is the only person that ever really gave me something. He gave me a second chance at life. Everything else, I earned it. I earned everything I got. I work, man. I work hard. Josh. Like, you have no idea, man. That you talking about grateful? These quotes, bro, I wrote in the back of my truck, and people paying $99 for my books, $163.36. I'm very grateful. When I was in my truck, I didn't even know I was writing a book. I was just venting. I was just writing quotes. I used to lie so much, man, that I had convinced myself that I was telling the truth. You know how bad that is? Have you ever lied about something so much that you ended up thinking to yourself, like, you convinced yourself it was the truth? I did that before. Like, that's how I don't care. Like, I'm transparent like that. Then when I lost my best friend because I lied. And that's how I wrote the quote. I'd rather lose you to the truth than to keep you with a lie. So now that's why I'm vocal about everything, because I already done been through, man, my mama had screws in her leg, Josh. They told her she wasn't going to walk no more. You think I care about losing a friend? My daddy, he got hit by a drunk driver. He was in a coma for like 3 months. I didn't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing. I didn't want him to be in a coma, but I'm like, at least I get to spend time with you now. When my 7-year-old cousin, she in this book, quote 35 in my book. This stuff is, these are real stories, Josh. This ain't just, just sell no book or nothing like that. This is my little cousin right here. I said, God gave you a gift, but it's up to you to unwrap it. She died at 7. 7 years old, a drunk driver killed my cousin. So I wake up every day and I do this for her. She didn't get to live her dream. She didn't get to unwrap her gift. So guess who unwrapping it for? Me. She looking down on me, smiling. My grandmama, she never got to see me do nothing positive. But that's the person that introduced me to God. She didn't even get to see me start believing. She told me she travel, set your mind free. She didn't get to go to Jerusalem. I did. So I'm living for her. I'm living their dreams, man. We used to be in the house lighting candles and stuff. Having no food, nothing to eat. Sleeping in my truck. I don't be caring what people have to say or think about me. I've already been through, I got stitches right here. Me and my mama from, fighting. She woke me up at like 2:30 in the morning to wash some dishes. We fighting over some dishes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through everything you can imagine. Everything. My 5 and 8-year-old cousin drowned each other by accident. What more can I go through? Like, did somebody leaving a comment or something not appreciate me? I don't care about that. Man, all I care about is that my niece, she happy. I'm sorry, not my niece. It's my little cousin. As long as I feel her presence, I'm good, Josh. That's how I do this for these kids. You remember that cartoon that I shared with you and I said one of them could sing? That's Joy. That's her. If you really digest what I'm doing, I'm living inside of my head, Josh, and I'm creating my own reality. I'm about this far away from being crazy. People should be thankful that I went positive, because it could have went negative. When I tell you, like, when people's like, all you do is push your books, you better be thankful that it's just a book. Because whatever I was doing, I would have been successful at it. If it was killing people, I would be successful at that. If it was harming people, I would be successful at that. You better be thankful that all that stuff I went through, it triggered something positive. So I'm not asking everyone to agree or believe in me. I already believe in me. I'm not asking. I had a friend tell me the other day, don't burn your bridges. Josh, how can you burn a bridge on somebody that didn't help you build no bridge? Like, people say some of the craziest thing. I'm at the age that I'm at right now. And people will say, you never know who you're going to need. Man, I have lived and made it this far. I believe in God. Like, I really do. I believe in a higher power. Like, I'm not a person that just go to church and like things just going to happen. Like, I really got that kind of faith. So guess what that means to me? Don't put no faith or no trust in no man or human. I have no expectations of no man and no woman. When you remove expectations, you're able to appreciate the person a lot more. They cannot let you down. You give them a task, and if they do it, hey, congratulations, they did it. But I didn't expect them to. I expect more of myself and less of others. So when I wake up, I stand up right now. I'm living my dream, because all of these is my stories that I went through. You know what I'm saying? I could go on for days, man, but I'm not gonna sit here and just keep, flooding your podcast with all this inspiration. I'm gonna encourage people to invest money, generate wealth, and spend nothing.
So where do we go from here? What's next for you?
I would like people to show up on time for their dreams. I would like people to come together, help each other, love each other. I would like everybody that's watching this right now to post. Let me see. What can I think of right now? Take a picture of, something positive and post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook. And I want you to tag one person that has showed you appreciation and just tell them thank you. That's what I want to go. I want to go from there. I want people to stop saying, I'm proud of you, Josh. I want people to stop saying good job, and start supporting your business. You know what I'm saying? If you have something for sale, what do you have for sale that I can buy from you to show you that I appreciate you? Because that's what's going to keep your podcast going. That's what's going to keep your dreams alive.
So that's call to action.
Exactly. So that's my call to action right there. My call to action is go on wealthymindsonline.com and buy one product. That's what I'm speaking into existence. 20% of all of our proceeds go to putting up billboards. That's my dream. I just want to put up billboards to inspire people. And 20% goes to sponsor a kid's dream and sponsor a homeless dream. No homeless people pay for no products from us. We give it to them. Kids get free books. 18 and under, we bless them. If your children want some Wealthy Minds clothes, just let me know. We'll send it to them. It's on me. That's how much we love. I love these kids. The wristbands that they got on, you know what I'm saying? I wrote that in the back of my truck. I don't look for jobs. I create them. Your child is wearing a wristband that I created when I was out here running around looking for jobs from other people, begging people to give me a job. And originally when I wrote that quote, I said FUCK jobs, I create them. Originally, if you want me to go deeper, I didn't say damn a recession, I'm in a succession. It was FUCK, a recession, I'm in a succession. I don't cuss publicly. So that's why I'm spelling it. Because every time I say a negative word, Josh, I get on the ground and I do 10 push-ups, because I'm a firm believer that if you're going to have a broke mindset, you should have a healthy body. So if I say the word CAN''T, I do 10 push-ups. If I say the word NO, I do 10 push-ups. If I say BROKE, I do 10 push-ups. So
you're creating, you're maintaining that wealthy mindset, but you're also making sure, like you said in your quote, you're making sure that your mind makes sense.
Exactly.
So your mind, you're forcing your mind to make sense. Everything you're saying and everything you're doing, I will admit that I'm sure some people are going to think this guy's, whatever. They're not going to be convinced, and that's fine. But I think what there is really deep to take out of this, especially our conversation here, is that you're definitely taking action in the way your feet are going in the way that your mouth is going, and you are positively affecting people, and you are working hard to get it done. You are taking action in a practical, literal way. It's definitely something I value and that I appreciate. And I am 100% just super pumped that you were here and that you gave me this time.
I'm grateful.
And even though the podcast may be coming to an end, I'm going to try my hardest to do a little bit more. So if people stay tuned, they kind of, they can follow me. Actually, I have my YouTube channel, which is Joshua Ray Farmer. You can find me online at joshuarayfarmer.com. I have a lot of my photography and videography information there, some of this work that I've created, and I will definitely write a blog and share some of my experiences with this podcast, and maybe a few extra little pieces of content too that we can share. So I thank you very much for coming and doing this. This was...
Listen, man, thank you. I'm grateful. I appreciate you so much. Continue to do what you're doing. I wish I had something inspirational on me. Oh, here go a wristband for you, man. I like giving inspiration. Y'all see? This is the call to action. I'm not saying good job. I'm saying good job, and I'm blessing him with a gift. I don't look for jobs, I create them. Josh officially has the wristband straight off of Billionaire PA's wrist. Send the video to Oprah.
Thank you, Billionaire PA.
It's all good, man. I appreciate your existence, brother. Have a wealthy day. Speak life into your dreams. Do y'all want some more inspirational quotes? I would give y'all Wealth 2 book. Man, when Wealth 2 come out, I'm telling y'all, man, there's straight heat in there. Rich people show up on time. Wealthy people show up before time. And broke people always show up late. But they be the first ones to hold their hands out.